Let's start about 8051 serial communication. Before going to a topic of serial communication, let's see what is a communication. Communication means transferring of data between two entities or two machines or 2 points or 2 systems. Communication is classified into two types. One is called as the serial communication and this one is the parallel communication. Serial communication, we can see we have a sender and the receiver. Sender always sends the data and the receiver always receives the data. So between the sender and receiver there is only one channel here. So in serial data transmission, only one bit of the message will transfer at a time from source unit to the destination unit. Coming to the parallel communication, in parallel communication there will be multiple channels. Multiple channels are used to transfer the multiple data. So in parallel data transmission, all the bits of the message will transfer at a time from source unit to the destination unit. Let us see some differences between the serial communication and the parallel communication. The first difference is only one bit of the message will transfer at a time from source unit to the destination unit. Coming to the parallel communication, all the n bits of the message will transfer at a time from the source unit to the destination unit. The other difference is in the serial communication is the number of lines required to transmit n bit is only one line. The number of lines required to transmit n bit is n lines. Coming to the third difference, the speed of data transfer will be very slow, and coming to the here the speed of data transfer will be very fast. And coming to the next difference, the cost which is used for implementing this is very less. The cost which is used for implementing this is very high. The applications for the serial communication is it is used in long distance communication between two computers, and this one is used in short distance communication like computer to printer. Now coming to the next one, we have modes of data transmission. We have three modes. One is simplex, half duplex and full duplex. Coming to the simplex data transmission, here there is, if you see there is a transmitter and receiver. Between the transmitter and receiver there is only one way communication. Means the transmitter always transmits the data and the receiver always receives the data. So always the communication will be only in one direction. Coming to the half duplex, in this half duplex at a time one machine can transfer the data and the other machine can receive the data. But here we have a bidirectional channel, but simultaneous transmission is not possible for this channel. That is, two-way communication is possible but at a time only in one direction. Coming to the full duplex, in full duplex it uses separate wires, one for the transmission and other one is for reception. That is why we call it as the bidirectional communication, and even the simultaneous communication is possible with the help of full duplex. These are the diagrams of simplex, full duplex and half duplex. And coming to the next one, we already know that 8051 supports 805 full duplex, where the 805 microcontroller can transmit the data, at the same time it can receive the data. Coming to the transmission modes, here we have two basic transmission modes. One is asynchronous serial data transmission mode, synchronous serial data transmission mode. In asynchronous serial data transmission mode, both the transmitter and receiver are connected to different clock pulses. So here the transmitter will be having a separate clock pulse and the receiver is going to have a separate clock pulse. So the clock frequencies are different. Coming to the synchronous, both the transmitter and the receiver will be having the same clock pulse. As they are having the same clock pulse, both the transmitter and receiver can be synchronized. Coming to the asynchronous transmission here, in the asynchronous transmission, we already seen that sender or the receiver or the transmitter or the receiver, they are connected with different clock pulses. So as they are connected with different clock pulses, even the speed will be not same for both transmitter and the receiver. So if you see this particular diagram here, sender want to send some message to the receiver. So here the character by character is transmitted. That is, every character would be going with one process which is called as a framing method. So in this framing method, the transmitter want to send the data. So first it sends a start bit, after that it sends a message bit, and then after that it sends a stop bit. Start bit indicates the receiver that it is the beginning of the message, and stop bit indicates to the receiver that it is the end of the message. With the help of these bits, the transmitter and the receiver get synchronized. Now, for example, whenever the transmitter want to transmit the data, for example, the sender want to transmit character A. So first the character A will be converted into an ASCII value that is of 8 bits. So initially first it has to send the start bit. The sender sends the start bit. After sending the start bit, it indicates to the receiver that it is the beginning of the message. Now the next it sends the character that will be in the form of message bits, and then it is going to send a stop bit. Here the start bit will be always indicated with 0 and the stop bit will always be indicated with 1. Coming to the synchronous data transmission, in synchronous data transmission, the complete message blocks will be going to the receiver For example, if the transmitter want to send some hello to the receiver, so it will be sending the complete message blocks. So in order to send that, first it sends one or two sync pulses, and then it will be sending the complete message block. Again it will be sending two or one sync pulses. So here there is no start and stop bits, only the complete transfer block of data can be sent at a time. So in synchronous communication, both the transmitter and receiver will be having the same clock pulses, so obviously the speed will also be same in both because of common clock pulse. If you see, there are some differences between asynchronous serial communication and synchronous. Whatever we have discussed, like it is going to have a different clock pulses, it is going to have a same clock pulse, so speed will be different, speed will be same. It is used in low transmission, it is used in high transmission. So let's see some difference. Let's have some differences look of asynchronous and synchronous serial communication. Here even we have a special ICs made by the manufacturer for the serial communications, that is UART and USART. UART stands for Universal Asynchronous Receive and Transmit. USART stands for Universal Synchronous and Asynchronous Receive and Transmit. Coming to the data transfer rate here, data transfer rate means the transmission rate, that is the number of bits transmitted per second, that we call it as the data transfer rate or baud rate. Baud rate is nothing but the data transmission rate that indicates like how many bits are transmitted per second or how many bits are received per second, that we call it as the baud rate. Coming to the registers which are related to 8051, we have three registers. One is SBUF, SCON and PCON. First of all, let us see about the SBUF register. SBUF stands for the serial buffer register and the length of the register is 8 bits. For example, if the controller want to transmit any data, here the data must be placed in the SBUF register. So SBUF is an 8-bit register which holds data temporarily during serial data transmission and serial data reception. For example, when the controller want to send the data to the external devices, first it has to place the data in the SBUF register and then only the data is transferred through TXD pin. Similarly, whenever the controller want to receive the data from the external devices, then the data has to be commenced in the SBUF register. From there only the processor can read the data from the SBUF register. And one more thing here is SBUF is an asynchronous serial data transmission. Asynchronous in the sense, whenever the sender want to send something to the receiver, first it has to send the start bit and then the message bit and then it has to send with the stop bit. Now one more thing very important here is in SBUF registers we have two registers again. One is called as a TX register and other one is called as an RX register. So here whenever the controller or whenever the transmitter want to transmit some data to the external peripherals, first it has to write the data onto the TX register which is there in the SBUF register. The data should be in the form of start bit and then the character and the stop bit. So that complete data has to be placed in the TX register inside the SBUF. So whenever the processor or the controller want to read the data from the external peripherals, the data again should be in the form of start bit, character bit and the stop bit in the RX register which is there in the SBUF. Once the data is present in the RX register, what the controller is going to do is it is going to eliminate the start bit and the stop bit from the RX and it is going to take only the message bit from the RX register. So here this TX and RX registers, both the registers, they are having only one address location in SFR RAM area. The direct address location is 99H. Means this SBUF register is the SFR register which is having a direct address location, that is 99H. So here the conclusion we say that whatever the data which is there in the TX register is going out with the help of TXD pin. Whatever the data, if the controller want to read, the data can be read through RX register which is there in the SBUF. In that RX register, it has to eliminate the start bit and the stop bit and then it places the data, whatever the data which is there in the RX, it has to eliminate the start and stop and only the message bit will be read by the processor or the controller in order to access it. This is about the SBUF register. And coming to the next register we have is SCON register. SCON register stands for Serial Port Control Register and the length of the register is 8 bits. And this SCON is a bit addressable register. Bit addressable register in the sense where it can access the individual bits without affecting any other bits. Now coming to the SCON register, here we have total 8 bits. The first 2 bits stands for SM0 and SM1. SM0 and SM1, these 2 bits are used for selecting a particular mode. Like we have 4 modes in 8051, mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. So this is used for selecting a particular mode. Whenever if you want to select a mode 0, these 2 bits should be programmed to 00.